Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Glad you're with us here tonight, getting ready to go super speedway racing to kick off the North Carolina A11.org limited series right here on Turn 1 with Sim 500. If you're new to the channel, do us a favor. Go ahead and subscribe, follow, like, do what you need to get to do. We are in this for the long haul, riding this season all the way out through the end of May, and you're not going to want to miss a single lap of racing action. Practice getting wrapped up here, qualifying. Going to start any moment now, and we'll get racing here on Turn 1. qualifying right in the middle of it here with a Sim 500 North Carolina A11.org Truck Limited Series on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Sean Fitz. Glad you're here. And we're getting ready to kick off 2026 with a bang. The North Carolina A11.org group is ready to take on the high banks and high speeds of Daytona. And we see we've got a bunch of people hanging out over on YouTube tonight. Thanks so much for being here, gentlemen. Robert Chappell, number 87's in the house. Robert, congratulations on, well, not congratulations, but hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing. But listen, thanks for being here and commenting in the stream. On screen right now, RB Turner wrapping up his qualifying lap there. He came home victorious last season with the championship, wrapping that up just right before the holidays. RB Turner, your limited series of 2025 season champ, looking to make a repeat and putting some laps up on the board. First lap, going to put him P11. We typically pick up speed here at Daytona from a qualifying perspective on the second lap. Robert, a 51.70 on that first pass across the line, and that O2 machine will follow along with him as he's wrapping up that next qualifying lap here coming. Oh no, he is done there, so he's going to qualify there. P11 for RB, I'm sorry, not P13 for RB Turner. Looking at down the running order here, looks like everybody's wrapping up their laps. Rick Kennedy completed the lap. That put him P2, was on top of the board, a 51.64, but now it is Joey Jantina in the 14 car. The boss man himself sitting on the pole right now with a 51.63, 1/100th faster than the 10 truck of Rick Kennedy Jr. A lot of laps here tonight, a lot of strategy to be thinking about. These drivers getting an opportunity to get themselves collected. Qualifying going to come to close here in just about a minute's time. Again, hello everybody. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for finding us on a Thursday night. We're excited to go racing, and we hope you are as well. And that's going to wrap up the qualifying efforts for this group as they get ready to take on Daytona. And right before the end here, Brian Wortman was able to find a little bit extra time and speed on track and take that top spot away from Joey Jantina, a 51.61. Not only 1/100th, but 2/100ths faster. Wortman on the pole so far here with just a few seconds left. I suspect we're going to flip over. We are. There it is. Qualifying is going to come to a close. And these drivers, they're getting ready to grid up here at Daytona. And it is going to be Brian Wortman on the pole here tonight. Oh, okay, you don't have a good angle there of Brian. Either way, he is going to be your pole winner and be out front for a chance to bring home the checkered flag tonight. Joey Jantina is going to start P2 in that third place spot. Rick Kennedy Jr., he's working to get grid up here. So Alan Wild is on track. He's going to start fourth. Then Mike Montesi, your top five. Rick Swavely, Stoney Benfield, Shannon Wood, James Durr, Kevin Stone, your top 10. And then it's Joe Hudson, Vincent Short, Doug Roth, Matisse. Milt, I believe that's how to pronounce that last name. I could be wrong. Please feel free to correct me. Scott Formosa is going to start 15th tonight. Landon Audit. Troy Hade's going to start 17th. Mark Schrader, RB Turner, Doug Sigmund, your top 20. Rounding out the rest of the field here, Brandon Garrard, Ron Holyfield, Barry Stevens, Eli Raposa, Cody DeForge is going to start 25th tonight. Glenn Campbell, John Fowler, Robert Van Nest, Robert Chappell's going to start 30th in that 87 Ford F-150. Jason White, Andrew Davis, DeAndre Kane, Robert Barber, Alan Marshall, John Higman Jr., and rounding out that 36 truck field is Gerald Livingston as they get grid up here tonight for the North Carolina 811.org limited series here at Daytona. And Wortman's on the point there, and he is ready to go. Let's talk about this series really quick. We're going to go 60 laps of racing action here tonight at Daytona, but it's a special, just like it was last season. A 3,000 I rating cap for these drivers, and that tends to bring a different level of talent, a different level of folks out on racetrack and out leading the pack. And on top of all of that, we're at a super speedway. Well, what does that mean? Anybody can bring home the checkered flag here tonight. It is not about where you start. It is absolutely about getting to the finish here. As they get out on track and get rolling, this track is unforgiving. You could be running first one moment, you could be running 30th, half a straightaway later. You could be running 5th one moment, you could be on your roof 100 feet later. Daytona, it is pack racing, side-by-side, 2 and 3 wide racing for all 60 laps here tonight at Daytona. As I talked about just a little while ago, we're going to go all the way through May with racing action here on Turn 1. Thursday nights, you can find us 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern here on Turn 1. And with this group, we're going to be with them all the way through the summer, so make sure you like the stream. Connect to it. If you're ever on YouTube, I see all of my YouTubers over there, a ton of you in the house tonight. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You'll be able to find not only this group, but more racing action all over the week with Turn 1. These drivers are side by side, getting ready to go back and ready to go. Green flag racing to kick off the 2026 limited series here and at Daytona, the homeland of NASCAR. It is hard to believe we are what? Let's think about this for a second. We're about a month and a half away from actual trucks on track at Daytona. It is wild to think about. Even more exciting, we're 2 weeks away from the Rolex 24-hour race, if those of you with some IMSA fans. But I digress. We're getting ready to go racing here. Brian Wortman on the pole, Joey Gentina, Rick Kennedy Jr., Alan Wild, your top 4. The pace car is going to head down pit road. We're green flag for the first time in 2026 on Turn 1. Down the short chute they go, off into Turn 1 here, side by side, no real line advantage, but the 14, and Joey Gentina is going to drop down to the bottom line, take the air off the nose of Brian Wortman. They're going to hook up just a little bit down the backstretch, and the top 4 is going to get single filed out here early. Just behind Brian Wortman, that is Rick Kennedy Jr. in the number 10 Toyota Tundra machine. He has worked himself clear. Now the top 3 single filed out as they work through 3 and 4 for the first time. It's going to take about 4 laps for these drivers, about 2 laps for these drivers to get up to speed. So no big rush here, but the faster you can find a partner and start to get organized, the better off you are going to be. And that is lap number 1 in the books here tonight at Daytona as they head off into 1. Now, basically, our entire top 5 single file there on the bottom. That was the Ford truck of Mike Montesi and that Chevy Silverado. He's going to be on the outside. He is going to look for a little bit of help. He's going to be big contact. We've got cars spun all over down the backstretch. And that is going to bring the first caution out here tonight. And that's going to be a big hurt to some of the front runners. Scott Formosa is backwards spun around. A bunch of folks had to take evasive maneuvers there. Man, that started up there near the 4. Let me take a look and see if we can get that pulled up, find out exactly what brought that caution out. See if we can go back and take a replay. Coming out of turn number 2. Oh, the 10 car comes up right across the nose of Mike Montesi. And that is going to bring the caution out. Mayhem down the backstretch. Everybody trying to squeeze through there. A bunch of trucks backwards. This is going to have a big effect on the front runners. And we mentioned it at the top of the race. You are either sitting first and half a speed a straightaway later, you could be running 30th. And well, we potentially had the big one early here at Daytona. Joey Gentina was leading at the time that caution came out. Brian Workman scored P2. Mike Matesi third. Stony Benfield. James Durr, your top 5. Looking back here at the running order, I believe that was the 10. That was Rick Kennedy Jr. Involved in that incident. You see a little bit of damage on the nose of that truck. We'll have to take a look at the right rear quarter panel. That I would suspect we will see some damage there. We do. Oh yeah, that right rear really jacked up. That spoiler sitting in the air for Rick Kennedy Jr. Unfortunately, coming across there along the nose of Mike Matesi. Those two drivers making contact and fighting for the same real estate on the racetrack here tonight, bringing out the first caution of the North Carolina 811.org limited series here on turn 1. See a bunch of folks over on the YouTube again tuning in for some. It looks like some of you guys for the first time. Thanks so much for being here. We've got some 87 fans in the house tonight. I hope everybody is ready to cheer on their favorite driver because they're gonna have some. They're gonna have some challenge. They're not challenge. They're gonna have some competition with the 87 group in here, but. We appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight on Turn 1 on YouTube and Facebook. We're live on both. Joey Gentina, Brian Workman, Stony Benfield, your top 3. A couple drivers down pit road that were involved in that. Kevin Stone, Rich Swavely, Glenn Campbell, Alan Marshall. They're coming off pit road here after taking service. Rick Kennedy Jr. still sitting on pit road. John Fowler just now rolling off. Doug Roth is down there as well, getting some of his damage attended to with his crew. RB Turner, he's going to take this opportunity and hit pit road for the first time in 2026 with this series. Again, under caution for the first time tonight here at Daytona. We're going to take this moment. We're going to get a sip of water. Make sure you go grab a snack. You're going to want to be ready. We're going to go back green flag racing here in about, we'll call it 90 seconds or so. You're watching Turn 1. The pace car lights are off as we get ready to go back green flag racing here at Daytona. Again, hello everybody, I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going truck racing here tonight with the North Carolina 811.org Truck Series, a limited group of the Sim 500 franchise. I do want to say, and obviously a huge amount of gratitude to Joey Gentina and everybody over at Sim 500 for allowing us to come on board and call another race for another season. This is a multi-year relationship we're going on, and it has been a joy to really be involved with this group. But even if that weren't the case, and this is my first couple of races with these guys, I would say this: if you are looking for competitive racing, where everybody takes this They understand everybody, has challenges, but they want to work with everybody. They want to see all sorts of different types of competition on track. Respectful, clean racing. Well, you're in the best place you possibly can be. Sim500.com. They have multiple nights a week they run races. They run Mondays, Wednesdays, tonight. All sorts of fun seasons and all sorts of different types of cars. Sim500.com for all of that information. Get registered and come race on turn 1. Joey Gentina, Brian Wortman, Stoney Benfield, James Durr, and Shannon Wood, your top 5. As the pace car is going to dunk down pit road. Into the restart zone they go. The green flag back out here at Daytona. Off into turn 1 they go. A big gap now separating basically our top 8 drivers from the rest of the field. That's led by the 14 in Gentina. Mike Montesi is leading that group back there. He is in that 8th place position. He's got DeAndre Kane. He's up 23 spots on the night. Up to 9th for the first time in the top 10. And then Vincent Short Joe Hudson up here making moves as well. Another driver, Robert Van Nest, he's up 15 spots so far. A lot of drivers making moves here early as all of a sudden our top 10 single filed out. Those first 7 drivers out front here. Pretty organized, but it looks like Montesi, he is caught up with that pack. He had a bit of a run coming down the front stretch. He's going to look to the outside. He's going to be the single truck on that second group. It also now looks like, who was that? Was that Shannon Wood or Troy Haight? Somebody was poking the nose out there. Hey, Mike, come on, we'll go. We'll pair this up, make the outside happen. But no dice. Everybody tucks in. And riding nose to tail for the top 10 down the backstretch. Oh, there it is. Mike Montesi. He's going to pop out behind the 78. And he is going to have the 99 with him. That is DeAndre Kane making moves there on that outside. Mike Montesi doesn't look like he's any worse for wear after that contact, bringing out the first caution as he comes across the stripe here. Looking to crack back into the top 5. And he's got some help on the move. Now 3 trucks getting together. I believe that's James Durr in the 77. He is out there with that 4 in the 99, making that second lane work as they come out of turn number 2. I'm sorry, that is not James Durr. That is the 28. That is Troy Haight on that outside line. Meanwhile, Joey Gentina continues to ride the bottom right there against that yellow line here at Daytona, the out-of-bounds line. He has got a freight train behind him. That is Stoney Benfield. Benfield's up 5 spots on the night, sitting second, looking to make some moves here early. A lot of drivers, a lot of folks. If you're not going to be at the very, very back, well, you want to be towards the front. You want to stay out of the trouble, and typically the top 3, that you stay out of trouble if you're leading the race, the tip of the spear. Well, right now, Gentina, he's up there at the tip. He's got Stoney Benfield, Brian Wortman right there with him. Looking back here, that's Troy Haight, James Durr. They're side by side. This begins the 2x2 racing. That is Barry Stevens, Montesi, DeAndre Kane, Vincent Short. Running back here, this is all pretty much a battle for 5th, but a 4-truck battle for 5th here. And the first, really the only side-by-side, or the first side-by-side action through the field. As we look a little further back, Cody DeForge in this, Brandon Garrard, Doug Sigmund, Alan Marshall is the first truck and leading the second pack. If I were to guess, this likely is the pack that suffered a bit of damage. As a matter of fact, a lot of these drivers have been down pit road. Fowler, Andrew Davis, Robert Barber, Glenn Campbell, Kevin Stone's back here as well. Fan favorite, Robert Chappell in the 87. He also visited pit road lap number 3. So we got a bunch of drivers back there hanging out in that second pack here tonight at Daytona. Not hanging out, though? Well, that's Troy Haight, because guess what? He has got the momentum, and he's got the 4, and they have moved their way forward. That side-by-side battle now starting to come their way forward, and it looks like Joey Gentina, he has some quiet lap sled here. Didn't have any pressure, any drama, but guess what? That's all about to come to an end because it looks like Troy Haight is going to challenge on the outside, side by side for the lead for the first time here tonight under green flag conditions as they roll through turn number 2. Down the backstretch they go. This is what I was talking about with that side-by-side 2x2 for 10, 12, 15 rows back at Daytona. This is what super speedway racing is famous for. And Troy Haight, he did about 2/3 of a truck lead rolling into 3. Now, bottom line, Jatina's going to be able to take advantage of the short way around, but here comes the run. The 4 glued to the bumper of the 99, and we're going to have a lead change here under green flag conditions. New leader is going to be Troy Haight. Off into turn 1, that outside line looking a little more disorganized, but Haight's going to continue to be on the point there on the outside. Does he stay with the 4 truck or does he move down and take the air off the 14? Well, he's not going to do it quick enough because here comes the run. Joey Jatina's got Benfield. They're glued together down the backstretch. The 4 gets connected back up with the 28. Oh, they get a little off-center there, the 4. Can't get glued back up. The 99's up into the wall a little bit. That whole outside line checks up. And just like that, all that momentum is going to fade away for about half a lap or so. That's going to give the 14 an opportunity to get back up front. Side by side, they go across the stripe. They're going to have to work through some lap traffic right on the entrance to 1. This is going to be a little concerning. That lap truck going to stay on track. He's going to be on the bottom. That is going to affect Joey Jatina as they come off of turn 2. Will that lap truck absorb in here or blend in with this group of trucks, or are they going to fall back through the field? And what does that look like? We're about to find out. Haight on the outside, the 4 Montesi. They're free and clear so far. The 99's up there as well. Jatina. Now that lap truck's playing a factor. The lap truck sitting there on the bottom line's got to work around it. Somehow this is going to be a huge disadvantage to the 14. Here goes Troy Haight, Mike Montesi, DeAndre Kane. They're all rolling forward. They're going to work through that lap traffic. Jatina has to go high. This is going to split the lead pack quite a bit. And just like that, Troy Haight, Mike Montesi, DeAndre Kane, single file on the bottom. Joey Jatina is going to fall all the way back to 4th. That's Stoney Benfield. Cody DeFore just made himself look pretty quick here tonight. Up 19 spots, sitting 6th. Rolling pretty good for Cody DeFore. Last time we took a look, he was fighting to stay in the top 20 now. Up in 6th place. Up 19 spots here again early tonight at Daytona. Our pole sitter, Brian Wortman, he's sitting right there in that 9th place position. This is a solid run and a great start for the driver of the 74, Brian Wortman. Hanging out on the bottom there, trying to stay out of a little bit of trouble. I bet he wishes he was back in that lead pack. A lot of traffic all around him. Qualifying effort could turn into a solid night here tonight for the 74. Back up front. Troy Haight's going to go to the outside. Montesi's going to get a push for the 99 here. This may be a switch. May have seen Haight blow or get temperatures up a little high and concerns about blowing that truck up. He's now going to go to the high side. Montesi now is going to take that lead either way. I'm not quite sure what this call was. It maybe wasn't temperature related. Either way, Montesi is going to take the point. Down on the bottom, he's going to keep DeAndre Kane with him. Stoney Benfield sitting in that 3rd line. I'm sorry, not Stoney Benfield. Joey Jatina is sitting in that 3rd place position just in front of Stoney Benfield. Remember, those two were paired up pretty well there for the first, I don't know, I'd call it 7 or 8 laps. And then that lap truck about 3 or 4 laps ago caused chaos all over the racetrack with this front pack and had to navigate that in some way. Haight fall all the way back to that 6th place position. He's on that outside line. It looks like he is picking up. Who is that? That is the 04, Doug Sigmund. I love that green truck, Mr. Sigmund. That looks sharp on track here tonight. He's going to pick up Troy Haight on that outside line. Troy's going to remain the point person on that outside group so far, but right now our top 5 is single filed out on the bottom. Everybody just hanging on tight to that yellow line as they continue to chase down more lap traffic here, working lap number 17 at Daytona for the North Carolina 811.org limited series here on Turn 1. So glad you're with us. A ton of folks over on YouTube. We appreciate you tuning in. A bunch of folks over on Facebook as well. Hope you're having a great night. Happy 2026. We're back racing here where we belong. Joey Gentina is going to look to the outside and pick up a little bit of a run there on the 99. That's going to bring it alongside DeAndre Kane, the 14 of Gentina. He led a bunch of laps here early, and now he's wanting to take that lead away from the 4. Once again, he's got that Stoney Benfield again glued right there with him. The 14, a big run off of 2 and 3, or 1 and 2. Down the back stretch they go. And a huge gap and a massive run for the 14 and the 75 of Stoney Benfield. Stoney moves down. Gentina's going to stay on the outside. He's going to actually pick up Troy Haight. This is going to give Benfield the opportunity to lead a lap on the bottom. Mike Montesi's going to find the bumper, push him all the way through the tri-oval. Stoney Benfield's going to lead one here at Daytona. Gentina on the outside. He's not let him go too far. Gentina looks like he's got a fast Ford F-150 on the point here tonight. Again, led a bunch of laps early. Fell back, got tangled up in a little bit of lap traffic. But now, settling back in at the point here with the 28 of Troy Haight right there with him. Benfield on the bottom as now they shift down to the bottom as well. And all of a sudden, Doug Sigmund in that 04 truck, he is up front. We're starting to make himself up front here on that outside line. It is coming back to life. We've got some new players there with the 5. Starting to wake up in the top 10 is Joey Gentina. Starts to try to control both lines. He actually moves up, gives Haight the bottom. He's going to take the top. Side by side, and keep in mind 6-7 laps ago we were single file for 12th or up to first through 12th. Now we are 2 by 2 by 2 for as far as the camera can see here at Daytona. While we've got an opportunity and they're racing so tight, let's actually ride on board with a 4 truck of Mike Montesi as he takes a lap here around Daytona. This view from the inside of these trucks don't get old. It looks relatively smooth when you're looking at it from above, but on board with these drivers, you see just how bumpy and treacherous this track can be, especially right here on the bottom of the tri-oval. Everybody starts to shift around, and while it looks very orchestrated and in control on camera when you're 30, 40, 50 feet away, on board, it is chaos with some of these guys. It can be a handful to get around this super speedway. Out front, Gentina continues to lead. He's got the 5 truck of Brandon Garrard. A Grand out there with him this time on the push. That is also the 18 of Andrew Davis. Finding himself up into the top 3 for the first time. Another driver up there. That's the 82 of Alan Marshall. finding themselves in the top 3 situation here as we quickly are starting to approach the halfway point tonight for this group. Looking at chat, it looks like Robert Chappell. Robert mentions he lost the draft. Oh, and he gets it right as we panned over. Looks like he got a little squirrely there. Finding, no, had a driver in front of him there get squirrely. That could have been treacherous for the 87 of Chappell. Right now, he is riding in 25th. Plenty of time to make up some positions here. Knowing Daytona, we likely will see a caution or some type of incident on track here in the next 20 to 30 laps. And keep in mind, we also can see green flag pit stops. Some of these drivers elect to come down pit road a little while ago. Others stayed out. So we should see pit stops at some point, and I don't think they can make it the whole way if they even try. So we certainly will see pit stops, I do believe. We'll call it around lap 40, 45 here tonight for the North Carolina 811.org Limited Series on Turn 1. Jatina out front, continuing with the 5 and the 18. The 43 of Doug Roth and his famed Richard Petty colors on the truck here tonight. Making it look pretty good. Mr. Roth, he is up 18 spots. I'm sorry, up 10 spots rather, Mr. Roth is. Maybe he was involved in that incident a little bit, maybe, or that first caution around lap 2. Now finding himself up here in the top 2 all of a sudden. We know John Fowler has also had a decent recovery, up 24 spots on the night, sitting in the top 5 for the first time. And while we have Joey Jatina on the point, we got a new driver up there with the support, and that's the 43 of Doug Roth. Meanwhile, the 5 truck is starting to fall back a little bit on the outside, so is the 18 of Davis. Robert Barber in the 83. That's another name we see fairly often here in this group. He has worked himself up 17 spots on the night. Alan Marshall sitting in that 8th place position currently. Not having a bad night himself either. Recovered back up to 8th as it looks like we're going to have pit stops underway. Joey Jatina brings a field of trucks down. Cody DeForge is going to join him. Troy Haight, Shannon Wood, Glenn Campbell, DeAndre Kane, Brian Wortman also comes down pit road. And green flag pit stops are underway here in Daytona on lap number 26. Doug Roth on the point. He's got the 71 of John Fowler right there with him. They're going to catch some of this lap traffic, but we'll quickly dispose of that and get through it. We'll check to see if anybody elects to turn left here off the corner and come down pit road. Looks like everybody else is going to stay out for the time being, with one exception. Oh, got to get it slowed down. He's going to find the grass. That's the 77 of James Durr. He's off the racing surface, so this should not bring a caution out. He's going to get it right back and rolling, but this is going to be a costly mistake for Durr as he has an incident getting on the pit road. The 43 continues to lead out front here. John Fowler glued to the bumper pretty tight. Andrew Davis sitting in that 3rd place position. That is the 60 truck, and he is a lap down. That is, goodness gracious. Who is the 6? Is that the right number on there? It certainly is the 60. Not entirely sure. No, Mr. Wortman, that is not you. As James Durr is still on pit road. Either way, we'll pick that up here in just a moment. We've got pit stops with another batch of drivers down pit road. That's Kevin Stone, Vincent Short, Stoney Benfield, Barry Stevens, Robert Chappell. He's on pit road for his stop of the night. As green flag stops continue as we get ready to cross the halfway point tonight here at Daytona. down right to the very bottom. Most of this field now single filed out for the entire top 10. We're going to have Andrew Davis. He's going to duck down, and he's going to have some help. This is going to be a big flock of drivers down pit road. Can they get it stopped in time? They do. Everybody's got it straight. That's going to be Davis, Barber, Swavely, Raposa, Alan Marshall, Gerald Livingston all hitting pit road for their stops, the first stops under the green flag conditions here tonight. Here at Daytona, green flag pit stops are very critical because you've got to be able to get these trucks slowed up, but you've got to have partners. Without the draft here, without a multi-car draft, you'd be in deep trouble and would lose a lot of time to the leaders. Well, that's why you see a big batch of drivers pitting at the same time, and we'll see if Doug Roth elects to bring the 41. He is going to come down. John Fowler is going to join him. Oh, the 60 gets into the back there. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, that was tight. Those two making contact. Mike Montesi coming down pit road. Joe Hudson. Doug Sigmund's also on pit road. Right now, this Andrew Davis looks like he would cycle out the leader, but he doesn't have a whole lot of help, and he is just exiting pit road himself. Here comes Robert Barber. Barber's going to catch up to Davis. These two will get a run. Richard Swavely right there. The 5 truck. Joey Jattina right now is pretty much the head of the point here for the bigger gap of trucks. I believe that's Alan Marshall coming down pit road. John Fowler, Mike Montesi, they're all coming off pit road and got to merge back in here. But Davis is going to make the pass on the outside. He is up to speed. No help with the draft yet. What a decent pit stop on pit road. A 39.22. One of the quickest pit stops in the top 10, or trips down pit road, with a 12.48 in the box for Andrew Davis. And he is going to pick up the lead. He's going to get a little bit of drafting help. Then Robert Barber's got him collected back behind him. The 5, the 71's back there. The 4, Montesi, Richard Swavely. In the 32 Tundra, up to 6th. Working down through 1 and 2. Davis now firmly in the lead, up to speed, got some drafting help. And most of our green flag pit stops have cycled through as we're past halfway here tonight for the North Carolina AOL1.org Limited Series on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. Another season of Sim 500 Racing live on Turn 1, and we're glad you're with us. Happy 2026. Can you believe it's... how is it already... going to be the 9th of January tomorrow? I don't know. Yesterday feels like December 26th to me. But we're here for it, and we're racing live on Thursday night. And Andrew Davis in the lead. He's got Robert Barber right there to the bumper. They were single file for the top 4, top 5. Looks like Joey Jattina on the outside is looking for a little bit of help. He is wanting to make his way back forward. Joey, one of the first groups to come down pit road. He did that on lap 25 with a couple others, including Troy Haight. Everybody else didn't stop pit stops until around 27, 28, 29. So a few laps, fewer gallons of gas on board with that 14. Will that play a factor in what the next stop, if there is another stop, could look like? Andrew Davis, not a bad night so far, I'd say. Up 30 positions to be in that top spot right now. And is doing it in a pretty sharp Lucky Charms hot rod, that 18 truck. Looking pretty good at the point here tonight at Daytona. As we talked about, this group, this is a 3,000 I rating cap truck series. So this, not only, obviously, you can have great racing at 1,000 iRating and great racing at 6,000 iRating, but this is a little bit of a different set of drivers than we normally would see up front. And Davis is a perfect example of that. Robert Barber in this group. Joey Gentina has really stepped up his race package over the last many months. It is good to see some names up here getting some deserving finishes in this Sim 500 group. Davis now under pressure. That's Robert Barber. He's on the outside and got some help from the 71. He's also got the 14 right there with him on that outside line as they look to keep moving forward. 18 now side by side, pretty much 6 rows, 7 rows, 8 rows back as they come across the stripe here. Working 26 laps to go at Daytona. And from here on out, every lap, the intensity, the patience, the give and take is going to continue to get chiseled and chiseled and chiseled away before we get into that top 10, the final 10 lap situation with these drivers, where it could be anybody's race. Leaders get a little tight. The 77 glued right to the bumper of the 18. They have really connected down the backstretch. That's going to give the 18 a half truck car length lead, now full truck as they roll through 3 and 4. These two have been connected now for the last 10 laps or so on that inside line. That looks like that can materialize into a pretty strong force to be reckoned with as we start to see some more lap trucks that this group will eventually have to contend with here. I would say another 6-8 laps, and they're going to catch up to that group. And as the tighter this lead pack gets, the harder it is for them to navigate around traffic, especially if they were to not move to the apron. These are things you've got to think about. And Joey Gentina has it fresh on his mind. He lost the lead due to some lap traffic. You've got to, that's part of being up front on the point at Super Speedway Racing. You've got to figure out and think about and execute on some of these moves. And, well, Andrew Davis is going to have to sort it out here before too much longer. In this top, oh goodness, what is this? This is pretty much the top 14. That's Eli Raposa running back. They're sitting 13th. Rick Swavely, Cody DeForge, Troy Haight, Kevin Stones up in this mix. Benfield, Grand, Vincent Short, Joey Gentina, Montesi, Fowler, Barber, Davis, all in this top 14 pack. But that 77 again glued right to the bumper there. The 18. Oh, that 77 gets really loose. The 83 has to move up to avoid making contact. And that is going to set a chain of events up here. A lot of momentum lost on that inside line. One of those lap trucks head down to the apron. That could have been disastrous for this front pack. Collision avoided here with 23 to go at Daytona. The 77 gets it collected. That's unnerving as a driver. You've got to kind of collect yourself and get back into the mindset and get back to that consistency and that focus, because man, that's a scary moment. You don't want to take yourself out of contention, let alone some of these other drivers in this group. So a lot of pressure on these guys to really put together strong, clean racing. And so far, they're getting it done. The 18 of Davis starting to feel some pressure here. That's the 83 of Robert Barber leading the point on the outside. Barber's got John Fowler along here, the 71 with him. Those two have been starting to make headway here. Barber's been flirting with that outside line quite a bit now. He's going to lead off of 1 and 2. He's going to be in trouble because here goes Fowler. It's a 3-line battle for the lead. Barber's going to move to the back. He's going to take the ejection seat and slide backwards. That's going to put to the point on the outside. That is John Fowler, led off the nose of the 14 of Joey Gentina. Fowler free and clear on that outside line. Daytona looking to push it well clear so he can tuck down as well. Not going to get it done, at least not yet. Davis still hanging on to that inside line as they roll off into one. The 14 and the 18, they're going to be even with one another. The only driver clear is our leader, Fowler. And here comes the 18 off the side draft of Daytona, sitting in that second place spot. Mike Montesi's going to capitalize with Barber falling back. He is going to pick up that third spot and line on that outside row. The 77 is going to get loose again. That truck is starting to look like it is a pretty tough handling via machine. Maybe with these fuel loads starting to get a little lighter, the 77 struggling with that to mid-corner corner entry speed. Either way, the 71 of John Fowler out front, leading the laps for the first time here tonight at Daytona. Taking a look a little further back, Robert Barber, that truck, there may be something going on with the 83. He has fallen all the way back to that 6th, 7th position. Maybe a reset in the mind of Robert Barber. He's fallen back to that 4th row. Still a ton of time left here. Let's talk about strategies just a little bit, because that's really important at a racetrack like this. You have got to think about what move you need to make and when you need to make it. And you don't need to make it in a ton of advance. You can cross the stripe with 3 to go, sitting in last place, and under the right conditions, with the right draft and the right partners, work yourself up and battle for the lead as you come across the stripe to take the checker flag. All of that is possible with super speedway racing. And you don't want to, you really, statistically, you do not want to be leading a super speedway race when the white flag drops, because, well, guess what? You have pretty much an entire target painted on your back there. As the 14, I think he was trying to come down and get clear. He was not able to get that move pulled off in time, and the 18 is going to put the gas on here and pick up a little bit of pace there on the bottom, get a bit of a run. And because the 14, something happened with Daytona there, and well, he is going to, they're going to lose a little bit of momentum on that outside line, at least temporarily. But as I was mentioning, you don't want to be in the lead in the white flag drop. You want to be 5th, 6th, 7th with a clear shot to the front with the right push. So it's all about kind of jockeying for that right position. And right now, Robert Barber, guess where he's sitting? Yeah, that's right. Sitting in that 6th place position, just waiting to pounce there. And on that outside line, right behind Mike Montesi, is one of the best places to be. Meanwhile, up front, this group is starting to get a little squirrely. Again, these fuel loads starting to cycle off. These tires starting to get a little bit of wear. The 71 of Fowler on the point, half a truck length. The 18 just doesn't quite have the organized draft he did at one point, and Fowler's able to continue to pressure on that outside, especially with Daytona out there getting a lot of assistance. This is the 71. A little bit of door drafting happened. You see the 14 move down to the door. The 77 just a little bit there. That is the side draft we've talked about, or I talked about a couple times. Trying to get as much momentum off the truck as you can. As they roll through turn number 4 again. At 77, a little squirrely off the bumper of the 18. Starting to see some trucks come down pit road for what could be the final stops of the night. It looks like Shannon Wood is down pit road. Glenn Campbell down pit road. Ron Holyfield down pit road. It looks like Holyfield's going to get his service wrapped up. That could be his last time under the attention of his crew for the first race of 2026 for the North Carolina 811.org limited series here on turn 1. All of a sudden, we look up front. That outside line has come apart. John Fowler all by himself there now. Joey Daytona settled into that 5th place spot. Maybe some pit stops getting ready to happen here with this lead group. Not this lap. Meanwhile, Andrew Davis went from having a bunch of pressure on that inside line, couldn't get the nose out, to now leading this last lap by. He's got Vincent Short right there with him. Vincent Short sitting in that third place truck, just to be clear. And he's having a decent night. He's up, what is that, up 10 spots, sitting in third at the moment, or sorry, second at the moment. That 77 truck, not a factor. That is a lap down truck of James Durr. Remember, he was spun off in the grass there during the last pit stops. Not a perfect situation for the 77, but right now able to assist some of the leaders here, and specifically the 18 with these pushes in the late race. Down the front stretch they go. These laps quickly ticking off, and if we were to see any of these drivers break off for one more pit stop, I think it's going to be the likes of Joey Jantina. Troy Haight, he's sitting in 10th right now, not mentioned a whole lot about Troy here in the second half. Sitting right now in that 10th place position. Cody DeForge also came down pit road on the same lap. And then DeAndre Kane, Brian Wortman, they're back here cruising as well. All came down. Maybe a little bit of fuel savings in the or on the board for some of these drivers who pit on lap number 25. We are quickly closing in on, well, this will be right here. Come across the stripe, 13 to go here tonight. A bunch of folks in chat. Thanks for tuning in tonight. A lot of folks cheering on the 87. Also got some Team Short fans in the group. Well, he's having a good run so far. Vincent Short right now sitting in that 05 truck up 10 spots, sitting in that second place position. And honestly, in a pretty decent spot as the laps continue to wind down. Again, these leaders getting caught with a little bit of lead traffic. Doesn't look like it's going to be a factor, at least here through turn 1 and 2. The lap time are going to go deep to the outside. That's going to give them plenty of room. Oh, I see that. It's going to get tight right there off of turn 2, but they're going to navigate it just fine. Davis continues to lead on the point. The 77 of Durr. Keep in mind, a lap down here, not out front. Or I'm not, sorry, not on the lead lap, but out front here. Could be a factor when it's all said and done. We got a couple trucks coming down pit road. Montesi. That truck, I was about to say, that looked really fast with the 4. He had to lock him up. Smoke coming off that truck. Pit stop's underway here. Jantina. He's going to come down pit road. Swavely, DeForge, Livingston. This will be the final stops for these drivers here with 11 laps to go tonight here at Daytona. Now let's talk, while that pit strategy underway, keep in mind everybody's coming down here. We're going to have about 10.5 laps to go right now. Andrew Davis, Vincent Short. I'm sorry, Davis came down pit road, lap number 28. Vincent Short, 1 lap later, lap number 29. John Fowler, lap number 29. Robert Barber, lap number 28. So, and there it is. I knew we were going to have to see some folks come down, and Andrew Davis is going to lead them. Everybody gets them slowed up. Vincent Short's going to hit pit road. Stoney Benfield, Kevin Stone, and a couple others. DeAndre Kane is also going to hit pit road. That's going to give the lead to John Fowler. He is going to be tucked in right behind that 77. He wants to get as much possible speed out of that truck as he can this lap, but he also wants to pick up some help. Super Speedway racing here. You have got to be really, really smart about this. You got to, if you're going to have green flag stops, you've got to have partners. Fowler, last on pit road, lap number 29. He's going to have to come down, and he's going to stay out while James Durr brings some other top 10 down pit road. That's the 5 going to join him. And they're going to hit pit road. That's Jamester. He's going to be there. Then that is Milt Matus down pit road as well. We look at the top 7. They have not pit yet. That's John Fowler, Robert Barber, Doug Sigmund, Barry Stevens, Joe Hudson, Doug Roth, and the last but not least, RB Turner. They have not come down pit road just yet. And we are inside of 9 to go. These drivers, I won't say this is a gamble, but they're looking for any opportunity. They want to see a caution come out right now. They want to be able to get that pit stop for free. They're not going to get it, though, and it looks like Fowler's going to come down pit road. Barber's going to come down pit road. At least those two won't. As Barber challenges on the outside, drives it in deep there, nearly crosses up with the 71. That is going to give the lead out to Joe Hudson. Hudson last on pit road, lap number 29. He will have to come down, and he has nobody with him at the moment from a drafting perspective. We look a little further back. This is going to be the race for the lead as it cycles back through. Andrew Davis coming down the front stretch right now. He's got Stoney Benfield. He's got Brandon Grand with him. He's got Jatina right there. Mike Montesi as well. As they cycle past some of these trucks coming off pit road that are not going to be up to speed. And it looks like a lot of splash and go for these drivers. A lot of 6-7 second pit stops. Meanwhile, Hudson's going to come to the attention of his crew one more time here as we are less than 8 to go at Daytona. The 87 crew out strong tonight in turn 1. We appreciate you guys being here. Let's take a quick look. He's sitting 22nd at the moment. They need a little bit of a caution, a little bit of a break, but they looks like they are still on the lead lap. That can materialize. Whoa, big left turn there out of Hudson. I'm not sure what that was about. He's coming off pit road, but that is going to cycle the lead out and back to Andrew Davis here. Under 7 to go. He's got Stoney Benfield, Brandon Grand right behind him. Here comes Joey Jatina. He's going to go to the outside. Massive run. The 5 is going to go up a block. He's not going to be able to do it. The boss man, Joey Jatina, on the outside, making it 3 wide here. That's for the second place spot. It is heating up under the sun here at the beach in Daytona. Davis, he's got a bit of a gap behind him. That's going to be trouble. Here comes Benfield on the outside. Benfield's going to have a pretty strong run here, but he's not going to have the push. Davis is going to pick up a little bit of help on the inside. That's the 05 there, Vincent Short. The 05 and the 5, side by side in that second row, but here comes Stoney Benfield on the outside. Massive run down the backstretch. That's going to get Stoney Benfield clear as they roll through 3 and 4 with 6 to go. They're going to catch a little bit of lap traffic. That's going to catch Andrew Davis in a bit of a bind here. That outside line's going to pay. They're going to be able to get a run here. Davis is going to be trapped behind that lap truck. Oh, it looks like the 5's going to make a move on the outside. 2 and 3 wide for the lead. Joey Jatina down to the bottom. He's going to come out on the point. Joey Jatina finds a way, and he's got Robert Barber with him. Now a big gap out front for the 14. The 83 is going to lose some momentum. The 14 is going to have a big run with the 5 here. They're both going to get connected and come down to the bottom. That's going to shut the door on the nose of the 83. Benfield's going to fall back to 5th. We got trucks sideways and the caution's out. Everybody's having to check up as we got a truck in the wall. That was Gerald Livingston. And this changes everything. Under caution for the second time. here in Daytona. See if we can find out exactly what happened to Gerald Livingston here. That truck sideways off in the corner there. And it looks like this starts. Oh, with the 05, maybe if it's a short. Either way, not a great incident there for Gerald Livingston. That is likely going to end his competitive night running in the top 10. Joey Jettina out front when the caution waves. We are working. We are going to go to NASCAR overtime. This is going to shake some things up. Let me get caught up. Let's take a look here really quick. If you're in the chat, do me a favor. Give me a quick hello if it's over on Facebook or YouTube. Say hi. Who are you hoping brings home the checkered flag here tonight? I'd love to see who you have and who you're rooting for. I know we see the 87 fans, and guess what? This is what you needed to see here tonight. You wanted to see Robert Chappell have an opportunity to get caught up. Well, he's going to certainly do that. Now that this caution has come out, he is going to restart in that 21st position and right there and be in contention with this group. We also saw, like I said, Vincent Short and Team Short up here in the chat tonight. He is also going to benefit from this. Everybody's going to get to re-rack it, but this is going to be a little chaotic. Let's talk about NASCAR overtime. If you haven't ever seen it happen before, well, it is a green-white checkered experience. We're going to go back green flag racing. If they can make it all the way back around to the start-finish line without an incident on track, well, guess what? They'll see the white flag, and it is a all hands out. Whoever crosses the line next on the lead lap is your winner. If we do not get to the start-finish line before that white flag waves, caution come out, and we'll re-rack it once again. That is NASCAR overtime in a nutshell, and we're going to see it here on Turn 1 for the first time in 2026 at Daytona. JP Goodman, yep, 87 is going to be a rocket ship here. This is a great opportunity for Robert Chappell to really get it sorted out and be able to get up here and race with these guys for the lead here. This is the perfect break he needed. Again, going to start right around that 20th place position. At 29. All right, who are we rooting for here with the 29 truck? I haven't seen that number mentioned a whole lot. Where am I? What am I missing? Maybe the 28 we were talking about there? I don't see a 29 here. Maybe I'm just blind. Either way. Oh man, the 87 he's got half the neighborhood watching. Mr. Chappell, hey listen, I think you're watching stream or listening to the stream. How are you typing and racing at the same time? That doesn't matter. Listen, from what I understand, there's a free car wash on the line for tonight if you bring home the checkered flag. Listen, I don't know what more of an incentive you need. A free car wash, that's pretty stout. Absolutely free car washes. Oh man, I love it. Well, Robert, you've got some work to do, my friend. Gonna restart 17th on the inside line, and we talked about it earlier in the race. You can get up front here and be on the point in 500 feet. We'll see what he can make of it. The pace car lights are off. Joey Jettina, Brandon Garand, Robert Barber, Stoney Benfield, Mike Montesi, and Richard Swavely going to make up your top 3 rows tonight here at Daytona. What a way to kick off 2026 with the North Carolina AMO1.org limited series, but some NASCAR overtime and some clean, exciting super speedway racing action here. And again, one more time, if you haven't already done so, I would love for everybody to do me a favor, subscribe, like, do what you need to do. Give us a thumbs up over on YouTube. I love the engagement. I appreciate you all for being here, and get connected, because guess what? We're with these guys every Thursday night from here until the summer for calling these races, and it is going to be a heck of a time. Can we get a shot of the 87? Yeah, we've gotten a couple shots of the 87 right now. Where'd our boy go? Robert Chappell, right there. He's getting ready to go. As they're gonna see the green flag for the first attempt at NASCAR overtime. Joey Chatina to the point. Green flag is out. Back racing at Daytona. Remember, it's going to take 2 laps to get up to speed, but by then, wherever he races the checkered flag, you've got to get what you can get right now. And Brandon Garand on that outside line. Man, what a run. He's got a ton of help. That's Benfield out there with him. Right on the bottom, though, that is Robert Barber glued to the bumper of the 14. Down the back stretch they go. These trucks building that steam, building these runs. This lap does not matter. You just need to be able to really get the speed up, find a partner, and go. And they're doing just that. Down off into 3 and 4, side by side. Everybody's tucked in, nose to tail. They're going to make it all the way around, and they're going to cut the 14 off. They're going to see the white flag, big wreck down the short chute. That is going to be a massive wreck for that group. Brandon Garand, Stoney Benfield are going to survive. Scott Formosa is going to be able to capitalize. Down the backstretch they go. I don't think they're going to have any pressure from Formosa or Fowler here, as Fowler is going to work to get around Formosa. That'll be a battle for that position. Now what does Stoney Benfield do? This will be a battle between the 5 and the 75. Off into turn 4. Benfield is going to build the run. He's going to build the draft. Can he do anything with it as they go through the tri-oval? It's going to be the 5 truck. Brandon Garand is your victor here tonight at Daytona. Stoney Benfield's going to finish P2. John Fowler is going to bring home P3. Scott Formosa, Joe Hudson, your top 5. Eli Raposa, Troy Haight, Andrew Davis is going to finish 8th. DeAndre K 9th. Doug Sigmund 10th. Robert Barber is going to finish 12th. Some notables here. Joey Chatina is going to finish 19th. I imagine that's going to be a very disappointed Joey Chatina. Mike Montesi is going to finish 20th. Our pole sitter, Brian Wortman, is going to finish 21st. And fan favorite here tonight in that 87 truck, which, by the way, is my number. I don't know if that's a curse or what, but either way, Robert Chappell is going to finish 22nd. We're going to step aside, get ready to bring you some post-race coverage and talk to the driver of the 5. He's your winner here tonight for the first race of 2026. You're watching Turn 1. A wild night in the books here tonight at Daytona. As, man, I don't know if you could have called a much better race to kick off the 2026 season. Let's quickly talk to Stoney Benfield. Stoney, congratulations. P2 here tonight. That's got to feel decent out of Daytona. Everybody's shaking it loose and getting back into the swing of things. Walk me through your evening in the 75.
Yeah, we had a good, decent run tonight, and so glad to get a P2 position for our title sponsor, NC811.org. They sponsor our truck, and along with Cook's Landscaping Group. So anyway, it's a good night, and we're thankful to be here.
Stoney, it looked like you've had a pretty fast hot rod most of the night tonight. Did you come into Daytona with any set strategy, a plan to run up front most of the night? What was your thoughts as you were looking ahead through practice and qualifying here this evening?
Yeah, I wanted to try to start up front. Normally the wrecks happen mid-pack or behind, and so I think we qualified 7th or 9th or something like that, and running the top 10 all night. So anyway, just be patient and try to miss the wrecks. And I feel bad. I think I might have actually caused that wreck there. I came down just a little bit. I was on the top line. So anyway, they'll review it and see, but it was definitely not intentional.
Well, Stoney Benfield here tonight, bringing home a really good start to the 2026 season in P2. Stoney, thanks for the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
And with that, we will quickly talk to John Fowler. John, I think you were probably one of the trucks that just saw the clouds part and came out of that in that third place position. Walk me through your night here at Daytona. That 71 looked fast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, yeah, man, we were fast all night. My teammate Doug and Roth, we went to the front. He was like, all right, it's time to go. So we went. We pit stops went good the first one. I was like, all right, tonight's gonna be a good night. Then the second one, I forgot to click my tires off, so I got in the back. The last caution, well, the only caution really, came out. I was like, all right, good. We back up with the pack. Then we took the white flag, guys, and I told my team, I said, hey guys, it is the last lap. So if anything happens, haul last, Days of Thunder, that son of a bitch, and go.
Well, John, I think that's exactly what happened there for you. It looked like just everything in front of you, it all played out perfectly, the right distance. From when you came into tonight, a lot of drivers come into super speedways, they want to run up front, they want to run out back and stay out of the drama. Did you have a strategy that paid off at all here tonight, or did you take it as it came?
Okay, so before the first pit stop, our strategy was just to chill, relax. Then I was getting bored. I even came across the radio. I think I even yelled at Shannon. I was like, Shannon, I'm bored, man. Let's go. There's a whole nother lane. But we didn't do it. And then after that first pit stop, my partner, Doug Roth, we were like, all right, let's see what we can do. And we went to the front. And then we just kind of stayed up there. I led quite a bit of laps tonight. So I'll take it tonight, man. Third place to start the season off. Hey, I'll take it.
Well, John turned boredom into a top 3 here tonight at Daytona. I appreciate you being with us this evening, and we'll talk to you again here real soon.
All right, man. Hey, I just want to thank my teammates, Dirty Monkey Motorsports. We came in here together. I paint all their vehicles. We all look good. I want to thank Scary Strokes. Scary Strokes is a small business in Waldorf, in Maryland, and they do a lot for me. And hey, I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. And like my buddy Mark says, man, I do the same thing. I go upstairs after this race and I go lay down with my hot wife. I'm gonna watch the replay and show her that I came in third. I'm like, hey, baby, you got a race car driver.
John, congratulations, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
John Fowler bringing home P3 here tonight. And well, that leaves the winner here to talk with us, the 5 truck of Brandon Garand. Brandon, congratulations. What a wild night here at Daytona. A lot of fast, clean racing, and that 5 truck up front here for a good portion of it. Walk me through your evening.
Yeah, it was a pretty good evening. I wasn't expecting to come out on front being like by myself out there. I didn't really have any teammates. I didn't have anybody to talk to work about the draft. So it kind of just was on my own strategy, and really just after the first caution, I was like, oh boy, we're going to have a caution-filled race. I was like, I just got to survive till the end. And then it went green, and I was like, all right, well, now I got to pick up the strategy of trying to figure out who I really want to work with, when do I need to pit, and yeah, not having anybody to bounce strategy off. That last stop, I was like, I don't know if people are going to take tires, because I did feel the truck getting loose at the end of the first run. But I was like, nah, I think most people are going to go gas only. So that's what I did. And luckily, we kind of cycled out towards the front. And yeah, I was content. I was going to push Joey there once they got by me, and I kind of slotted into second right before that caution came out. But obviously, when you're lined up 2x2 after that, you're going to hopefully get the push behind you. And Stoney gave me great pushes, got me clear. And then I'd say luckily, in a way, I didn't have to defend the big run on the last lap because it was just me and Stoney. But yeah, kind of fell into my lap. I think I could have ended up at least top 5. So yeah, I'm happy to, first race of the year, get a win here.
Brandon, again, let's replay that a little bit here. Coming out of turn 4, you know, things were starting to get a little dicey. People were starting to fan out in that front group. Did you know what happened in the rear view? Like, what did that look like from your perspective as you were getting ready to come through the tri-oval there and that chaos ensued coming to the stripe?
So yeah, I kind of cleared myself because I wanted to get in front of Joey. I figured they had more strength in numbers down there, and then I saw it in the rearview mirror, and I've done it plenty of times. But I think Stoney just wanted to follow my, like, you get so tucked in following somebody's rear bumper that I think that's kind of what he did. Just kind of come down from what he kind of briefly discussed with me too in the waiting room, and mayhem kind of ensued. And I wasn't sure how many cars or trucks were behind Stoney until I got off turn 2, and I thought, oh, it was just him. He wasn't getting to run. I saw him kind of lay back a little bit. Didn't know if, like, I don't race the trucks enough to know if, like, he could still gain momentum to get a run on me. And so I kind of just backed up to him a little bit and just kind of maintained a gap. And yeah, it was kind of lucky that last lap, because I know how, I mean, it happened right as we crossed, so we didn't get another restart, thank God. Because you never know what could keep happening. Mayhem can keep ensuing. So yeah, I got through the mayhem. I think it would have been a fun battle still if it would have stayed the whole pack together. I think I could have tried to defend, but it's so hard defending 2 lanes. So we'll take it how it came and move on to next week.
Yeah, Brandon, you read my mind. Take it and walk way out of here with a checkered flag, and that's a great way to kick off this 2026 NCAA1.org season. We look ahead. Any tracks you're looking forward to that think you could add some additional wins in the column and be competitive in the championship here down the run?
As odd as it is, so I come from the 802 iRacing League, and I do not have luck at Daytona. So to actually come away from here with a win is kind of surprising. And then yeah, like, I have some decent tracks. I like the short tracks. I don't drive the truck enough to know, like, how much different it is. We drive the Xfinity car and the next gen, so, like, that's kind of what I'm used to. So we'll see what this momentum probably could bring with the truck. I don't even know the schedule. I think we go to maybe Atlanta next week, another drafted track. I'm not sure if we follow, like, the kind of the schedule, but whoever it is, we'll roll off the truck. We'll give it our best shot, and yeah, coming out of here with, like you said, a win is a great way to start momentum and not have to worry about anything going forward in a way.
Starting the 2026 season. Yeah, starting the 2026 season off strong and not in a deficit to 5. Brandon Grant, congratulations here tonight at Daytona. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
And with that, we'll wrap up race coverage here on Turn 1. A wild and exciting night. A ton of folks tuned in, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And man, what a great way to kick off the 2026 racing season here, but with the NCAA1.org Truck Series and Turn 1. On behalf of the League Admins, I'm Sean Fitz. We'll see you next Thursday night for more racing action right here. Bye-bye, everybody.